do some caroling. You will get a sentimental feeling when you hear voices singing, let's be jolly, deck the halls with boughs of holly, rocking around the Christmas tree. Have a happy holiday. Everyone dancing merrily in the new old-fashioned way. Boughs of holly rocking around the Christmas tree. Have a happy holiday. Everyone dancing merrily in the new old-fashioned way.
You know Dasher and Dancer and Prancer and Vixen, Comet and Cupid and Donner and Blitzen. But do you recall the most famous reindeer of all?
Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer had a very shiny nose, and if you ever saw it, you would even say it glows. All of the other reindeer used to laugh and call him names. They never let poor Rudolph join in any reindeer games. Then one foggy Christmas Eve, Santa came to say, Rudolph, with your nose so bright, won't you guide my sleigh tonight? Then how the reindeer loved him as they shouted out with glee, Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer, you'll go down in history.
Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer had a very shiny nose, and if you ever saw it, you would even say it glows.
All of the other reindeer used to laugh and call him names. They never let poor Rudolph join in any reindeer games.
Then one foggy Christmas Eve, Santa came to say,
Rudolph, with your nose so bright, won't you guide my sleigh tonight? Then how the reindeer loved him as they shouted out with glee, Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer, you'll go down in history.
You'll go down in history.
You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch. You really are a heel. You're as cuddly as a cactus, you're as charming as an eel, Mr. Grinch. You're a bad banana with a greasy black peel. You're a monster, Mr. Grinch. Your heart's an empty hole. Your brain is full of spiders. You've got garlic in your soul, Mr. Grinch. I wouldn't touch you with a 39.5-foot pole.
All I need is a reindeer.
The Grinch looked around, but since reindeer are scarce, there was none to be found. Did that stop the Grinch? The Grinch simply said,
If I can't find a reindeer, I'll make one instead.
So he took his dog Max, and he took some black thread, and he tied a big horn on the top of his head. Then he loaded some bags and some old empty sacks on a ramshackle sleigh, and he whistled for Max. Then the Grinch said, "Get up!" And the sleigh started down toward the homes where the Who's lay a snooze in their town.
This microphone is doing that?
Checking the mic.
Is it muted? Let's stop doing it. I believe it is. Good morning, everybody. That was not enthusiastic at all. There we go. That's a little better. It's like we gotta start on the right foot here. I am going to meditate differently today. We are going to meditate on gratitude. It's more of a contemplation. So we're all going to close our eyes and take a nice deep breath in. And we're going to release all the things that keep us from feeling gratitude. So let's close our eyes. Anytime any thought enters our head that veers us off from a feeling of gratitude, from a centeredness in gratitude and thanksgiving, take a deep breath in, and in your mind or in your mouth, say, "Thank you." any sound that you hear, any thought that you have, twinge in your leg. Give it just a tiny bit of your attention and then breathe thank you, and then move on. Stuff that happens in our lives that feels random. There's always a purpose. We may not see it now, but we'll know it later. There's a lesson or an idea, a thought produced from whatever it is. It may be a lesson for someone else. So instead of taking the blame, becoming a victim, we enter into a space of gratitude, and we move forward on our path. The most important part of this, the spiritual power that we have, is to say thank you and move on. Thank you. So often we pray for clarity to understand. Understanding comes when we remove the block of victimhood. When we let go of why me. So we take a deep breath in and say thank you. In the path of spiritual growth, there's a moment when we begin to take responsibility for our lives. And in our habits that we have gained beforehand, instead of taking responsibility, we think that if we blame ourselves, that's taking responsibility. It is not. It's not why did I put myself here. It's I put myself here to learn. Thank you, and move on. It's not why me. It's there is a lesson here, and I will see it, thank you, and move on. So as we move through this season of gratitude, of fellowship, of love for one another and the world that we live in, let that become your catchphrase. Let that become your response. Thank you. And I thank you for joining me with this meditation. Bring those words with you throughout your day and your week and your life this season. Give these words to all those around you and to yourself, to the world. Thank you. Our service begins at 10.
If there's anybody left outside, please come on in. We are very honored to have with us today, and I can say this as an honorary Lula Bell, Mr. Jamie Lula and his band.
Come on, Tommy. Tommy Reeves on piano. Martin. Martin Lund. Come on, Rob. Give us a little bit of love. Mr. Rob McDonald on the bass. Give us some, Joe. Joe puts the Terry on the drums. Bring it down, 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 down. I'm so grateful that you are here today. Bring it down, bring it down, bring it down, bring it down. Mother, Father, God, infinite spirit of life, I am so grateful, yeah, yeah, yeah. For the way that you reveal your life as the song that moves through me. For the way that you sing your song as the way you sing my life. For the way that you sing your song as each individual here. Oh Lord, I'm so grateful. I'm not living off my fear. I'm in my
Okay, trusting.
passion
1,
and
2,
my
3.
heart, here to express all of your endless infinity. Oh Lord, we are here today to uplift and heal and open hearts and inspire, Lord. And I'm so grateful for this prayer that is my life. I'm so grateful for the prayers each individual up on this stage and in this audience and this Costa Mesa, Southern California, United States of awareness. Oh Lord, I'm grateful, and so it is, and so I am, and so we are. Amen. Amen. I always start out in prayer. I've done my time, I'm so tired. I give up on my simple mind. It's not working, I'm no good. I'm in need. If I only could find the Spirit in the house. I said, Spirit in the house. One more time, I said, now, Spirit in the house. You are the house of Spirit, yeah, yeah. Spirit in the house. Let's rock it. Oh, come on now, Martin. Here we go. A light says stop, I go through. Pull me over, said the man in blue. Son, you know what you done did. I said yes, I ran a light of red. What's your hurry, why the race? Who you trying to keep pace with? Take your time now, it's alright. Got your answer, you can't hide from the Spirit in the house. I said, Spirit in the house. Yeah, yeah. I said, Spirit in the house.
I want to welcome everybody in person to our Center for Spiritual Living Beaumont on this beautiful, bright, and sunny day. If you are online, we're glad you're online. We welcome you here. And if you were in the sanctuary, we have beautiful pastries today set up for you to eat during the service. So if you come in person, you get pastries and a lunch. So if you're nearby, come on down. But we're glad to have you online. Put in the chat where you're watching from so we can acknowledge you. If you're a first-time visitor, we have a first-time visitor here, and we have a book for you. It's How to Speak Science of Mind. It tells you everything about Ernest Holmes' teaching. So we have a gift for you. That's our Science of Mind book. And we have a blue welcome packet in the back that will get you later on. If you're online, we have a welcome pack we can get you electronically. So put in the chat your email, and we'll get that to you. All right, so after lunch, after service, we have a fellowship lunch, a full lunch. And today we have, I know there's a whole lunch out there. What do you have, Ross? What do we ham. We have a ham and all the sides, ham and vegetable lasagna. So we've got good entrees there, and people are bringing in sides and salads, so there's a lot to eat. So stay after service for fellowship meal. And if you take a moment right now to silence your cell phone. So if you have your cell phone with you, if you take a moment to make sure it's on silent. And as you do that, we will go into our vision statement, and I will click, and there we go, new visitors. Welcome in our vision. A world that works for everyone, not a world that works for someone, a world that works for everyone. So there's our vision statement. Our purpose is awakening humanity to its spiritual magnificence. We're spiritual beings having a human experience, but we want that human experience to be as spiritual and as loving and as kind and as compassionate as it can possibly be. And so our mission is transforming lives, and the way we transform lives at CSLB and Center for Spiritual Living worldwide, we have about 425 centers worldwide, is one thought at a time. So that's how we transform lives. And we will go to our opening song at this point if we're ready for our opening song. And we have Gilman Carter in the house, who has not been here since pre-COVID. I think 2019 he shared with me, so he hasn't been here in about 6 years. So if we can welcome Gilman into the house today. He's taking over our 5th Sunday. And I heard him practicing, so you're in for a treat.
Feel free to sing along if you know this. I'm in the right place at the right time, just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time, just where I'm supposed to be. And my soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Yes, I'm in the right place at the right time, just where I'm supposed to be. And you're in the right place at the right time, just where I'm supposed to be. And my soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. Yeah, my soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. I said, my soul is welcome here. Yeah, my soul is welcome here. I said, my soul is welcome here. And your soul is welcome. Yeah, my soul is welcome here. Yeah, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. Getting the message loud and clear. Getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here.
Oh, Gilman, beautiful. And your soul is welcome here, and your music is welcome here. Thank you so much for stepping up. We so appreciate that. And so, well, find a seat. We have pastries on most of the tables. Yes, you're willing to eat and have coffee during service, so you're welcome to do that. Some of the back tables don't have pastry, so your choice to move forward or grab a pastry. That's how it's working today. And so we're going to just take a minute. If you want to stand up, you're welcome to, and say, hi, neighbor, greet your neighbor, somebody you haven't seen. Shake a hand, give a hug, give a smile. You're welcome to stand up and move around. So you don't have to remain seated. Give some hugs, give some smiles, give some handshakes. All right. Hey, you. See you. Good to see you. Good to be seen. You're right. It is good to be seen. Things open. Oh, gotcha. All right, so welcome everybody. Glad you got a chance to say hello. And now we're going to go into our announcements. So we have a lot going on at Center for Spiritual Living Beaumont, and we're going to get into it. Flower Ministry. And I believe these were sponsored by Joan Frost. Is that correct? Joan Frost sponsored these today. So we want to thank Joan for sponsoring the flowers. We appreciate that. And to give you a heads up, you might want to get your name on the list if you're going to sponsor flowers, because the Flower Ministry is pre-sold for all of December, and we're sold out for all of January. But you can talk to Ross if you want to buy flowers for a special date. We will have double flowers. We're into prosperity, so don't hold back. If your date's taken, we will do a second flower presentation. But we're thrilled. It's the first time December and January have filled in ahead of time. So thank you so much for creating the Flower Ministry. We are thrilled that it's going well. And Joan, is it in the name of anyone special, the flowers? It's in the name of Joan's dad, who has passed, so that's who they're honoring today. And we are going, good grief, every Thursday. This Thursday we had Thanksgiving dinner here instead, but start right up next Thursday, 1 to 2:30 right here. Coffee and conversation will be next week. First and third Sundays. We meet in the Ohm Room, and we go over the book, Speaking Science of Mind. Great conversation. Then we come in here for meditation. Science of Mind discussion group, first Thursday of the month at Emmy. So contact Emmy, and she'll give you directions if you need to find your way there. Metaphysical Bingo goes back up first Sunday, next Sunday. After lunch, we do Metaphysical Bingo. Great prizes. We have Bandini's toffee and other great prizes, and we also will split the pot. So the fourth game, whatever comes in, the center keeps half and you keep half. So it's great and it can be profitable. So go to prayer that you'll win that pot and come to Metaphysical Bingo. Movie night, the next voice will be next voice you hear, and that will be sponsored by Member Services. There'll be a spaghetti dinner with it. That's December 10th. Come for the movie and the spaghetti dinner. All That Glitters Christmas Boutique going on outside today, yesterday, today, and tomorrow to raise funds for the center. We ask people to empty their garages and that. Just today, not tomorrow, just today. Okay, just today. It ends today. So if you're looking for any holiday gifts, there's some good choices out there. And Navon says it's going very, very well. People are stopping by and we're selling stuff. So it's going to help the center. All our proceeds go to, I think that one goes to our general fund to really support everything we do. We are having Living Menorah. We are doing a Hanukkah celebration, and that will be on December 14th at Sunday, and it'll be the Sunday service. I'll be giving an introduction, and then we have Reverend Jerry Cousins, who will be giving the talk that day and how Hanukkah relates to our Science of Mind teaching. Divine Dining is filling in very well. Ross and I are hosting a dinner, and we just decided it's going to be prime rib and twice baked potatoes and sweet potatoes and cheesecake, and that's what the dinner will be, and we're filling in, so it's going to be a prime rib Christmas Eve dinner with all the fixings and all the sides, and then we'll head down to the Plaza Theater for bells, brass, and sass. So that's what the dinner's going to be, and that's taking place on December 19th. So get in there, silent auction bid, and get your bid, and come and enjoy us that evening. We have Christmas Eve service here. Al Yankee will be playing for us, a full Christmas Eve candlelight service and a full Christmas Eve dinner. We had 40 42 people for Thanksgiving. I know we're going to have 50 for for Christmas, so sign up to let us know so you plan the food accordingly. It'll be a great, great evening. We have Kwanzaa. Betty Ann is putting together Kwanzaa, and that will be happening December 27th. So we have a lot going on at the center. Stay, eat our fellowship meal today. Lots of good food, lots of good conversation out there, and pick up something at that Christmas boutique on the way home. And right now, it's mission 4. Oh, go ahead, Betty. This is mission 4 of our pledge campaign, but Betty Ann is going to give, and then we're going to invite you to receive. So this is give and receive. And Betty Ann is doing a drawing.
Thank you. I think I'm on. Now, can you hear me?
Let me get them. Here?
Now we're on.
Good morning again. And I shared with someone else gratitude, how Spirit speaks. I saw this and I thought it was appropriate for us. Gratitude is a powerful catalyst for happiness. It is a spark that lights a fire of joy in our soul. And this is what's going on. I need to pull someone's gratitude, and this drawing is the last one. There's 5 Sundays this month, and membership services we give away, and we're grateful that we can do this. So,
Okay. I'm just hoping I didn't draw Ross's name because it'll look like this is rigged, and it isn't, so.
is it?
No, it's not.
You want me to read it?
This is somebody who has been a long-time member here and in service a long time, and this is Chuck, our tech person. Unless there's another Chuck in the house, this is our tech Chuck. And he's in gratitude for the kingdom of heaven within me. That's our teaching. His conscious union with the Most High. That's our teaching. Physical reality, right? Being in physical form. His health. And YO is what? YO. So that's his 5th one. So that's what Chuck is grateful for. He receives a $25 gift card. Let's give Chuck a round of applause for his long-time service at this center. So as you give back, you receive, and there's a perfect example of how that works. So now I'm going to invite Darla up, and we're going to get into she's going to introduce our 4th week of our Mission Possible pledge campaign.
Hi. How's everybody doing this morning? Isn't this fun to have it a little bit different?
Good.
This is kind of neat, isn't it? Oh, I'm excited. I missed last week because my family was down visiting. So I'm excited to come back this week and be able to announce how much we're making for our pledge drive. This is the last official week, but of course, please continue pledging if you've forgotten to. We've also left some pledge cards on the table out there if you forget, and you can do that after the service today. We've actually done very well, and we're really excited to announce that at this point, we have a 73%. You have the marker.
Marker.
You want to mark it? Oh.
So we're going to fill this in, and this is the end of week 3. We're beginning week 4, so we have 2 more weeks.
But we've gone from here up to here. Okay, this is what we've done in a week. And we have another week going.
We got this is week 4, and then we have week 5 after that.
After 5.
Right.
Right.
So, and our goal is 100, and we want to add 10% extra. That's our teaching, is 10% tithing. So we're going to make that goal, and we're going to exceed it. So keep those pledge cards coming in. We really appreciate your support.
Right, and then the other thing is that if you're an auto donor, which a lot of us are auto donors, I've been an auto donor for a couple years now, and I just turned myself into a pledger. So consider that you're already donating, that money's already coming out, and you're already giving the gift of gratitude to the church. But if you pledge it, then we actually have it on the books, and we can use that to be able to do the financial analysis. Okay, so if you haven't pledged and you're an auto donor, just think about moving it over to a pledge. That would be really a big help. The other thing is that I looked at the numbers today, and currently, to get to the 73%, is we have 14 pledges. Okay, that's really low for about a 35 to 40 member organization. I've been a fundraiser for a long time, a professional one, and I know that we've got plenty of people here that are going from auto donor to pledgers is going to make a huge difference in our income. So please consider that and know that you want to join the rest of the team here with your gratitude. I'm very happy to be a part of this church. I've been here for a year, and I found this little tiny sanctuary with all these wonderful people, and so I'm happy now to be a pledger myself. I'm going to draw a name. Thank you for that. Thank you. Because we really applaud the fact that we make a decision to be more participatory. So I've been here for a year, and I've made that decision that I'm making that commitment to the church. I'm going to be drawing a name now, and this is kind of fun for me because these are the donors that have already participated. And let's see, and I'll let you read the name if you want.
Okay. So these are the people who pledged, and they're up for a drawing. And this is, I've been told by this person that she's a pillar of the church. So, so Yvonne Fowler is the winner.
Oh.
It's a spectacular gift for you to take home. And just what you need is another coffee mug, I'm sure. And the good thing, it's filled with peppermint candy for the holidays. So Yvonne, this coffee mug and peppermint candy is yours.
Excuse me. I just want to talk about this mug because, of course, everybody has coffee mugs. Well, I want you to know that there's something special about having a mug in your mug drawer or cupboard that says something positive to you, that you can actually relate to every time you open up the cupboard. You don't need to even drink out of this before you're going to say, the mission is possible. You can accomplish things. And below that it says, I said yes to, ... Choose your yes. Choose your yes and make it possible. And the fact of the next part of that, of course, is that you did it. Because we know you put your mind to it, you think of possibilities, you let spirit in, you can accomplish much. So that's what this mug represents. It's not just one more coffee mug for you to drink from. It's to remind you every time you see it in there, possibilities are limitless and spirit's with you. And Yvonne, you have been a tremendous mentor to me since I got here. I said, you're my prayer partner, and you have been, I just got to give you a hug, honey, because this is, she lives it, she breathes it, and she does it.
Ross and I want to thank Jack and Yvonne. They were here, was it Saturday night, Friday night, helping put up the poinsettia tree for quite a few hours, and it said, easy to assemble. It was not easy to assemble. The instructions were not accurate, but we got it up with everybody's energy. We got it up, so we want to thank Yvonne for all she does at the center.
Anyway, give ourselves another round of applause. 73% is a phenomenal amount. And thank you so much for the donors, and thank you for those auto contributors that are going to sign the paper today.
All right, and so we are having Adrian is stepping into Power Talk of the day today. So he's doing our Power Talk and our Pray-In.
All right, a little crowded up here. I don't know if you guys noticed. There's like everything is here. My name is Adrian Madden. I am your licensed spiritual practitioner here at the Center for Spiritual Living Beaumont. The other practitioners and I... All right, so it's just me. Actually, I believe Reverend Michael's going to do the prayer circle today. So we don't try to do the prayer in here anymore because it just gets too noisy and it's really hard to hear anybody. So what we do is we go into what used to be the minister's office. We call it the Om room, right around the corner, and we do a group prayer where everybody puts in their 2 cents worth, and then we get millions of dollars out of it. That's how I like to describe it. So please don't leave here this morning with anything in your heart. Follow Reverend Michael to the Om room right around the corner here. Sit down and know and trust that the prayer will bring about that which you wish for. So I'm actually going to do this a little backwards, if you don't mind. I'm going to do the prayer, the Power Talk first, and then you're going to meditate as song us into the actual prayer afterwards, okay? Science of Mind, page 160. Second paragraph down. The section is called The Technique of Acquiring Faith. One cannot be a good student of the science of mind who is filled with fear and confusion. He must keep himself in a state of equilibrium, in a state of poise, peace, and confidence, in a state of spiritual understanding. By spiritual understanding is not meant anything strange or unnatural, but merely the belief in goodness must be greater than any apparent manifestation of its opposite. It is the science of faith we are seeking to uncover, a definite technique that will conduct our minds through a process of thought, if necessary, to that place which the sublime minds of all ages have reached by direct intuition. There is no one who believes more in faith, more in prayer, or more in the necessity of the divine will being done than he who practices daily the science of mind. He has relieved his mind of the morbid sense that the will of God can be the will of suffering. For if there were a suffering God, and if we are eternal beings, then we should suffer through all eternity. But a suffering God is an impossibility. We suffer because we are not in both conscious and subjective communication with the affirmative side of the universe. All human misery is a result of ignorance, and nothing but knowledge can free us from this ignorance in effect. As students of the science of mind, we find in the remarkable character of Jesus a great impetus toward faith and conviction. The centurion came to Jesus and asked him to heal his servant, and Jesus said, "Go thy way, and as thou hast believed, so it be done unto thee." The centurion had what we call a mental equivalent of a divine authority. In the realm in which he lived, he was accustomed to speak his word with authority. So he accepted the word of Jesus as having authority on the invisible plane. Jesus said, "I have not found so great faith, no, not in all Israel." It is wonderful to contemplate the mental attitude of people who are not afraid to believe their prayers will be answered and are not afraid to say, "I know." We shall all arrive at the same assurance, this perfect faith, in such degree as we cease contemplating the universe as opposed to itself, as we cease having the will to do or to be that which is contrary to the universal good. There is nothing in the universal order that denies the individual's good or self-expression, so long as such self-expression does not contradict the general good, does not contradict goodness itself. There is nothing in the universe that denies us the right to be happy, if our happiness does not deny or interfere with the general good. The universe remains unlimited, though the whole world has suffered a sense of limitation. We should be careful not to divide our mental house against itself. Having announced the law of liberty, we must not deny it. When we shall all know the truth, then ways and means and methods will be found for the freedom of all. The mold of acceptance is the measure of our experience. The infinite fills all molds and forever flows into new and greater ones. Within us is the unborn possibility of a limitless experience. Ours is the privilege to give birth to it. In this season of gratitude, the whole point of gratitude, the whole purpose of gratitude, the end result of gratitude is the welcoming of newness, of change, of growth. When we thank that which we have and exclude the thought of the things that we do not, we can become more than we were. So, let us go into a contemplative song, and then we will go into prayer.
There in the sing-along hymnal, so if you want to sing along, I believe we have the lyrics in there.
Should I do the extended version or the short version? Okay, we got time. I guess I'll do the full version. And this kind of ties in with what Adrian was saying. It's in every one of us to be wise. Find your heart, open up both your eyes. We can all know everything without ever knowing. It's in every one of us, you and I. It's in every one of us. I just remembered, it's like I've been sleeping for years. I'm not awake as I can be, but my seeing is better, I can see through the tears. I've been realizing that I bought this ticket watching only half of the show. There is scenery and lights and a cast of thousands who all know what I know, and it's good, and it's so, it's in every one of us to be free. Find your heart, open your eyes and see. We can all know everything without ever knowing how. It's in every one of us, here and now. It's in every one of us, here and now.
So let's go ahead and close our eyes. God is infinite. God is everywhere, all times, all places, and in all people. God is omnipresent. God is omniscient, all-knowing. There is no wisdom, no knowledge that does not exist within God. God is that absolute eternal in each and every person. God is that clarity, the clarity to know exactly what is needed to be known, when it is to be known. And God is that absolute peace that allows us to be patient with the wise. I am here in this space, in this place, knowing and trusting that God's absolute infinite peace is exhibiting throughout my life, in and through me and as me. I am knowing and trusting that I have the patience to let go of my need to know why long enough to do what needs to be done, to say thank you to the things in my life, so that as I move forward, the reason why will just come of its own accord. I am knowing and trusting that God has that why for me, so that I can feel the gratitude here in this moment and move on to the next thing without having to be attached to the old. I am willing here now to let go, because God is absolute. There's no place where God is not. So I can just let go of this thing, this reason, this why, and move on. God will provide it when it needs to be provided. And I'm knowing and trusting that this is true for each and every person here in this room, online, watching and hearing this message. I am so thankful and grateful for my ability to just let go of all those things that came before, all those things that bothered me, irritated me, the noises, the sounds, the things that happened. I can let them go. I can release them into the perfect action and order of the law, knowing that God is already going to deal with it, that it's already happened, that whatever it was, the reason why it happened, it'll come to me when I need to know. I am so grateful, all of this and more. I'm so grateful that each and every person has access to this peace, that has access to this clarity that will just bring the answer that they need right when they need it. I'm so grateful for all this and more, and I release my word into the perfect action and order of the law, knowing it already be part of this universe, part of this reality, part of each and every person. I know that God has got this. I let go and I let God, and together let us affirm these words by saying together, and so it is.
I was talking about doing the 5 steps of prayer, and it's a little tight up here. Usually there's room to walk around up here, but we've got poinsettia trees and musicians, and it's really nice having a full stage, isn't it? I mean, the energy and the vibration of nature and the colors and the celebration of just life, just the celebration of life. And I think that's our teaching and that's our ministry. And so what we're talking about today, at this time of the year, is kind of so many cross currents come together, I think, at the end of the year, and so many cross religions come together. We've all been taught over many religions. We've had many parents with different religions, and we found different ones in our own, and we found our way here at this time in our life. And there are a lot of crossroads of religious beliefs, and there are a lot of crossroads of the way we were told life was supposed to be. And there are a lot of crossroads in our consciousness, kind of tugging and pulling and pushing us to find out who we truly desire to be. Who we truly desire to be. Our soul is welcome here. So on these crossroads, these cross currents, this cross consciousness of so many beliefs and values and attitudes coming together, how do we come to that place within ourselves where our soul is welcome here? And we make that soul welcome, and when our soul is welcome, we are welcome wherever we go. One of my favorite things in childhood was my mom reading bedtime stories. She read the best bedtime stories in the history of the world, and she was a busy mom raising 3 kids and working part-time. She was a substitute teacher and managing the house, and my dad worked, and she was so busy. And she always had time for the bedtime story. Sometimes the dishwasher was half loaded with dishes, and she wanted to finish loading it so she could go to bed too. And it was 8 o'clock, and it was bedtime and story time, and she was there, never late. And she never skipped a page. There were times I'm sure she wanted to skip a whole chapter and get that dishwasher loaded and get to bed because we had to be up at 6 in the morning to start our routines. And she never did, but one of my favorite stories that she told, and I don't know if you know this one, it was called The House in the Middle, in the Middle, in the Middle of the Road. How many people know that story? How many people know where that house was? It was in the middle of the road. That's where that story was. And so the house in the middle of the road was so big that you couldn't drive around it. And it was so big that you couldn't build a ramp over it. And it was so big you couldn't build a tunnel under it. And so how big was the house in the middle of the road, you asked? How big was the house in the middle of the road? Well, since you asked, it was so big. The only way past that house in the middle of the road to get on with our journey was to go through it. And you had to enter that house, and you had to examine every single room in that house before you could move through it. So, in a sense, the house was a metaphor. And it was a metaphor for all of the crossroads of our life, for all of the cross currents of our life, for all of the cross beliefs and all of the cross values and all of the cross ways of doing things to come together and for us to explore each way in that crossroads, which was our best way. Which room in that house of the ways of doing things, of beliefs and values and attitudes, of consciousness, of awareness, of oneness, of truth, of love and light, they were all rooms in the house. Which room spoke to you the most? Because the room that spoke to you the most probably was the room that your soul was in, or the room that your soul was resonating within. So as you entered this house, which was a metaphor for life, what room in your house? What room in your heart? What room in your soul are you most comfortable in? What room? What room? What would you call that room? What's the light energy of that room in your soul? What's the emotional energy of that room in your heart? And what's the experiential energy of the way you're living life? Is it joy? Is it gratitude? Is it upbeat? Is it downbeat? Is it happy? Is it sad? Or is it all of it, all of that and all at once? I know for myself, holiday season, I'm experiencing all of it and all at once. So that's kind of the way it goes at the crossroads. But one of the things, when we get so busy exploring what room am I going to go in and how do I get through this crossroads that I'm at, we get so busy that we can't even see how beautiful we are. Right in the midst of the busyness. Right in the midst of all of these cross currents, right in the midst of all these religious beliefs, right in the midst of this is the way life should be, right in the midst of am I a good person or not a good person, am I spiritual, am I not spiritual, am I deserving, am I not deserving, am I beautiful or am I not beautiful, right in the midst of all of those cross currents, I find that I often forget to remind myself When I come to the house in the middle of the road, which might be any house of resistance or any cross current of resistance, I forget to remind myself, even with that house of resistance before me, and even resistance to entering that house and getting to know that room's in the house and getting to know myself, even with all of that going on, what I all too often forget is that a butterfly can't see its own beauty because it can't turn its head, and it can't see how beautiful it is. How many of us in this room, if you really took a moment, get so busy with our to-do list, get so busy with our finances, get so busy with our gardening, get so busy with getting the car tuned up, get so busy with staying in touch with relatives or losing touch with relatives, staying in business with our really close kin, how many of us forget to realize how absolutely beautiful we are by a show of hands? How many of us forget? I mean, how beautiful you are. Not that I'm beautiful, but how amazingly beautiful you are. There are a lot of hands going up, a lot of hands going over their hearts right now. Yeah, I forget how beautiful my heart is. And if my heart is beautiful, and that's the heartbeat of my life, then guess what? Your life's beautiful too. Your life's beautiful too. So it said a butterfly can't see its own beauty because it can't turn its head. But you know the good thing about a butterfly? It's beautiful whether it knows it or not, right? You're beautiful whether you know it or not. You're beautiful whether you know it or not. That's a given. That's a given. And so a butterfly is beautiful whether it knows it or not. You're beautiful whether you know it or not. But here's the cool thing. You're so beautiful wherever you show up that you remind other people of their beauty, and that's a butterfly. A butterfly's beauty is in awakening us to our own beauty within. And our opening story is the butterfly and the boy. How many people have heard the story of the butterfly and the boy? In a meadow, soft and wide, where the flowers leaned with pride, lived a butterfly so small that she could barely fly at all. She had wings of violet, gold, and light, and they shimmered softly even in the dark of the night. Yet day by day, this butterfly's wings shook with fear. She stayed low when the skies were clear. One bright morn, a boy came near. Quiet steps, a gaze sincere. In his hands, no toys or balls, just a sketchbook that was thin and tall. He saw her struggle in the grass, and he watched as the other butterflies passed. He knelt beside her, whispering low, "You're beautiful, just so you know." From that day, he came each dawn, bringing petals dew had drawn, shading her from midday heat, speaking dreams to her, both shy and sweet. He told her of the skies he'd paint, and of wishes whispered, small and faint, of how his mother rarely smiled, and how he felt as a very, very lonely child. The butterfly would not reply, but in her heart she knew the sky. To feel unseen, to ache, to yearn, to wait for wings that might not turn. Then one dusk, when gold light spilled and all the meadow air was stilled, she, the butterfly, felt a stirring deep inside, deep and true. Her trembling wings at last withdrew, and she fluttered once, she fluttered twice. The air was warm, the wind was nice, and with a leap of sudden grace she rose to meet the sky's embrace. The boy looked up, his eyes alight, as she became nothing but a spark in flight. She circled him in gentle rings, her shadow brushed by sunset's wings. She landed softly on his shoulder, her touch a whisper warm and bolder, a silent thank you in the breeze, before she soared above the trees. Higher, higher, till she became a golden star without a name. The boy stood still, his heart grown wide, a joy he could not hide, for in helping her to rise, he'd learned to see through brighter eyes, and somewhere far beyond his view, she carried him into her skies of blue. That story to me is the rising of our soul. It's the beauty of our soul that has butterfly wings that we're just not quite willing to let them expand and flap. And that story of the boy and the butterfly, the story of a butterfly and a boy who let their soul take flight to higher awareness, to higher consciousness, to higher visions. And so one of the ways we take flight from our soul through love in our heart into the expression of joy and happiness in our life is by moving through that road in the that house in the middle of the road. And sometimes that house in the middle of the road is called midlife crisis, right? The house in the middle of the road could be a midlife crisis. And guess what? You don't have to be a midlife crisis. I had a midlife crisis at 18. I had another one at 50. I had another one at 60. I'm having one right now at 73. I'm sure I'll have one at 80. But you know, the cool thing about my midlife crisis is because of the Science of Mind teaching. This teaching is phenomenal. Capital P. This teaching is precious. Capital P. And this teaching is present. Capital P, right here and right now. And here's how it's present. It teaches us to see things from a higher perspective, from the all blue of the sky. And so, don't fall over. And so, we have the opportunity in our Science of Mind teaching to see our midlife crisis, that house in the road, as a midlife chrysalis. Why don't we just call it what it is? It's the chrysalis of opportunity that's yet to be born. It's the butterfly and the caterpillar waiting to be born. So we can see it anew. I'm not having a midlife crisis. I'm having a midlife chrysalis. And a midlife chrysalis is about where transformation begins with the courage to change. That's transformation. That was that butterfly, the courage to flap its wings. That was that boy, the courage to take flight with that butterfly. That's the soul rising. Midlife chrysalis. The transformation begins with the courage to change. The concept of a midlife crisis is often viewed as a period of transition and self-reflection. While it can be challenging, it also offers opportunities for humor and growth. Sally Fields in Steel Magnolia speaks of this. Laughter through tears is my favorite emotion. So when you're coming to your midlife crisis of the house in the road, know that as you enter those rooms, it becomes a midlife chrysalis that opens up to the catharsis of complete healing. And that's what this teaching is about. Laughter through tears is my favorite emotion. So when you see a midlife crisis, take a look at it this way. To be old and wise, you must be young and stupid. How many people can honor? I am there. How many people have done the young and stupid part? Come on, come on. Okay, we're having a lunch afterwards outside. We're going to have a lunch with the young and stupid crowd because we've all been there. That's part of our midlife crisis, and we've all been there. Don't let age get you down. This is part of a midlife crisis. Aging, don't let age get you down. It's way too hard to get back up at our age. You know you're getting older when the birthday candles on your birthday cake cost more than the cake itself. That's midlife crisis, but if we can, everybody's smiling. If we can find the humor, we can turn that crisis into the chrysalis of finding our way back to joy. Wayne Dyer shares this about midlife crisis and turning it into the midlife chrysalis that becomes the catharsis of our complete healing and revealing. And we experience that joy from a soul level, that love from a heart level, and we experience it so broad and so wide and so bright and so high in the world. Wayne says this, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change, and you can see the little blue butterfly going from the caterpillar all the way to the blue butterfly and opening its wings wide. That's our soul rising. That's our soul rising. Wayne Dyer says this about the transformation into living an inspired, inspirational, in spirit life. When I am inspired, this is Wayne, I feel deeply connected to spirit, experiencing gratitude, peace, and a sense of harmony in the world. This state brings about meaningful synchronicities in my life, such as a profound encounter with a monarch butterfly that seemed to communicate with me and brought joy to others as well. How many people know Wayne Dyer's story of his monarch butterfly? He was mentored by Jack Boland, who also mentored Mary Morrissey, and who also mentored Deepak Chopra. I have a feeling Jack Boland was a pretty good mentor. He mentored them in their early years, before they were Wayne Dyer and before they were Mary Morrissey. And before they were Deepak Chopra, before they were who they became. And Jack Boland was a personal friend of Wayne. They stayed in touch, and he had died 10 years earlier, Jack. And Wayne was writing the final chapter in his book. I think it's called Inspired Living. And the chapter wouldn't come, and he had a publisher's deadline. He had 3 weeks. The whole book is done, and the last chapter, Inspired Life, would not come. it was not coming, and he was on the deadline, and there was no pushing it. So he went out for a walk in Hawaii, went down to a coffee shop, bought a cup of coffee, and he said, "Where is Jack?" Jack would know what he'd want me to say. Jack would have the chapter title. Jack would have the opening line. Jack would have the closing line. Jack would know what to say about inspired life. He exited the coffee shop, about a 20-minute walk to his home. A butterfly landed on his shoulder. It stayed with him all the way home. It stayed on his shoulder in the house. He sat down and he started writing, and that final chapter that wouldn't come was done in about 2 hours. And he finishes that chapter in Inspired Living and Inspired Life by stating, Jack Bolden always talked about how a butterfly was the perfect metaphor for living an inspired life. He finished the chapter, he went out to his patio on his condo, and the butterfly flew away. Do you believe in butterflies? Do you believe your soul is a butterfly? Do you believe it has wings yet to expand and fly? Are you willing to let your soul free? Are you willing to know that Spirit is with you? Are you willing to live an inspired life? It's your willingness. It's your willingness that lets your butterfly take flight. The soul of your butterfly is ready. Been ready a long time. It's just waiting for your willingness. Can you see it? Can you image it? Can you feel what that inspiration of? It's in every one of us to be free. It's in every one of us to be free. And so Wayne says this, the reason I feel inspired isn't because the world looks perfect. Rather, it's the other way around. The world looks perfect to me because I'm always in spirit, and I'm a person who chooses to live an inspired life. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Even grounded butterflies can take flight. That's the power of transformation. That's the power of midlife chrysalis. Are you willing to let go of the crisis? Are you willing to let go of the crisis? And are you willing to receive the chrysalis? And are you willing to expand into that catharsis of complete healing, where all of your energy is going toward creativity and none of it's going toward reactivity? That's the place of an inspired life. That's the place of inspiration. That's the place that God and we are one. You can call it your soul. You can call it your heart. You can call it your essence. You can call it your energy, but whatever you call it, call upon it and set it free. There are a lot of wisdom teachings out there. There are a lot of wisdom teachings out there. So why are we so unwise on planet Earth? There's a good contemplation for a workshop. Why do we appear to be so unwise when the wisdom teachings are everywhere? Everywhere spoken, but not so often heard. How about we three kings? How about we three kings in terms of midlife chrysalis? How does we three kings relate to the opportunity of midlife? Not the opposition of the house in the middle of the road, but the opportunity to enter that house, know all of those rooms, and come out with our soul fully alight and ready to take flight. And so how does we three kings begin? We three kings of Orient are... What's that telling us? What's that telling us in spiritual wisdom? We are. It doesn't say we three kings were. We were yesterday, or we will be tomorrow. That's not the wisdom of that song. We are, here and now present. That's the power and the wisdom of the Magi of the three kings of Orient are. And so what are the three gifts of the wise men? If we look at it not from the crisis of the problem, but from the chrysalis of the possibility that can lead us to the catharsis of the presence of perfect healing. And so the lessons from the Magi, when seen from a metaphysical viewpoint, the story of the Magi, or wise men who traveled from the east to honor the newborn, Jesus offers timeless lessons. Their gifts, gold, frankincense, and myrrh, were not only valuable, but deeply symbolic. Gold signifies royalty. I could say something right now about what's going on, but I'm not going to say it. I'm just going to leave it there. Gold signifies royalty. Frankincense represents divinity and the sacred. And mirth symbolizes suffering and sacrifice that foreshadows Jesus' future. And yet, in Science of Mind, suffering is optional. If we come to see suffering not as a problem or a crisis, but as a possibility of a chrysalis of awakening us to who we really want to be and what we really want to let go. So suffering is really a gift if we're willing to see it that way. Okay, I'm willing to let this go so the opportunity of a greater presence can show up. So it's an awakening in a sense. And so mirth symbolizes suffering and sacrifice that foreshadows Jesus' future. These gifts reflect the importance of offering what is meaningful and lasting rather than what is merely impressive. This teaching and midlife chrysalis is not about what's impressive in your life. It's not about what's impressive in your bank account. It's not what's about impressive in the title you may hold. It's not what's impressive about the car that you're driving. That's not what midlife chrysalis is about. Midlife chrysalis is about the courage to transform our lives by changing the way we look at things. Transformation rarely occurs in comfort. So if you've been in discomfort this holiday season, if you've been in discomfort in 2025, you're in a really good place of transformation. So can we begin to see how we can take that suffering, right? Come in discomfort and that suffering. Can we begin how we can embrace it and say, wait a minute, that's a sign of transformation. And the question is, are you willing to allow that suffering, allow that discomfort, that house in the middle of the road, are you willing to enter that suffering? Are you willing to enter that discomfort in a way you've never entered it before by fully embracing it? Because if you are, it will become the catalyst for the chrysalis of your transformation. Embrace it. Sounds crazy. The only way through is to enter it. The only way through is to enter it fully. Transformation rarely occurs in comfort, like Joseph Campbell, who developed his influential work in isolation. Joseph Campbell wrote the first full draft of The Hero with 1,000 Faces while living on $24 a week in a rented shack in Woodstock, hiding the fact that he spent 5 years in near silence reading for 9 hours a day because no university would hire him after he refused to sign a mandatory political oath that said he wouldn't be political while being a professor at any university. In the 50s, you had to sign a political oath that said you would not speak anything of politics on a campus, and he refused to give up his freedom of speech. He refused. He was boycotted. He called it the winter of his silence. He was boycotted for 9 years, hid out in a shack writing The Hero with 1,000 Faces. And he said he did not find universal myth in comfort. He found it in isolation, in financial strain, and in intellectual discipline so intense it forced clarity on every idea he touched. That's midlife chrysalis. Looking at things in such a way that they transform you into a way of seeing and being and becoming and feeling and experiencing, expressing and embodying love in a way you've never known before. Transformation rarely occurs in comfort. So you're in good company, because I spent a lot of time in discomfort this year, and I'm sure some of us did too, and a lot of wonderful things, but there was certainly discomfort. And isn't it wonderful to be in such good company? He developed his influential work in isolation and adversity. And we often find clarity and purpose through challenge and reflection. That's midlife chrysalis. That's midlife chrysalis. That's the house in the middle of the road that we don't want to enter. Enter that house. Go through that house. Explore that house. Explore all those dimensions or mansions of your soul. The journey of the Magi and the journey of Joseph Campbell's story both illustrate that wisdom and growth emerge from perseverance and openness to new perspectives. The butterfly and the boy. The butterfly willing to open to the new perspective of taking flight, and the boy open to the perspective of giving the love and showing that butterfly the beauty that that butterfly was, even though it couldn't see it, and the gift was the butterfly showed that boy how beautiful he was, and they took flight together. You know, bridging humor and wisdom, it's a tricky aspect of transformation. It's a tricky one. It's a tricky one. But midlife is not just about physical changes. It's about sharpening our perspective and our priorities. The Magi's journey reminds us that the most valuable gifts are those with lasting significance. Midlife, then, is less a crisis and more a journey toward understanding what truly matters and what we are willing to leave behind. Our talk, Midlife Chrysalis, is it's not about the battlegrounds of our conditions, right? Not about drawing lines in the sand, taking sides. Stop drawing lines in the sand. Not about the battlegrounds of our conditions. It's about the birthing space of our consciousness. Can we begin to see if all of us on this life plane right here and right now, it's in every one of us, right, to be free? It's in every one of us, and the way we get to be free is stop standing on the battlegrounds of our conditions and start opening up to the birthing space of our consciousness. That was the boy and the butterfly. They opened up to the birthing space of their consciousness, and nothing would keep them grounded. It's about opening up to the birthing space between our thoughts. Your thoughts are keeping you grounded. It's the space in between in which you can take flight. It's about the birthing space between our words. Our words are keeping us tethered to an educational system that is so dysfunctional. It's a space between our words that the power is. And so I'm grateful for the words that keep me tethered, because they've led me to the place of where I'm untethered, the space in between words. And that space in between the words is the space of wonder. So I'm grateful for the words that tether me, because they lead me to the space between the words of wonder, where I'm free to fly into the wisdom of the sky, right? The birthing space between our breaths. I'm so grateful for each breath. And if I take time to pause between each breath and to be grateful, wow, can you imagine how that space in between the breath would open up? Just be grateful between that space and your breath. Oh my God, can you imagine the space of consciousness that would open up for you? Do it one breath a day. Do it one breath a day. Pause. Be present to that soul energy, to the butterfly in your soul. Create that space for one day for your butterfly to open up, for your soul to take flight, for your heart to take wing, for your love to expand into the clear blue of the sky. That birthing space between the beats of our heart. Once a day, live in that space. Once a day. The birthing space between the windmills in our mind. The windmills in our mind. Once a day. And the windmills in our mind, if we can create the windmills in the mind of our imagination, the windmills of our dreams, the windmills of the flight of our soul, if we can create that in the consciousness of our mind, what can we mindfully call forth in our lives? If we can create windmills in our lives that take us into the flight of the butterfly, into that consciousness, if we can create them in our mind, can you imagine if we mindfully create windmills in our lives, what we would call forth? Can you imagine? Can you imagine the windmills in your mind as the windmills of this life plane? Can you imagine? Joseph Campbell can, in a sense, be seen as the Don Quixote of higher consciousness, right? Joseph Campbell, the Don Quixote of higher consciousness, right? I am Don Quixote. And Maggie Doyne can be seen as the hero of 1,000 faces who brought a world that works for everyone into fruition. I don't know how many know you know Joseph Campbell. And that is from last week's thing. But so we'll go back. And so the gift of the hero with 1,000 faces, and here's Maggie Doyle, who let her windmill of her dreams fly free, and she brought this freedom to this entire country. Maggie Downs, how many know Maggie Downs? She wrote the book, The Space Between the Sky. The Space Between the Sky. She founded the Blink Now Foundation in Kopila Valley Children's Home and School in Surkut, Nepal. Here was her windmill of a dream. At 19, she had saved $5,000 babysitting, and she wanted a gap year between 19 and 20 in college. She wanted a gap year, and she said to her parents, I'm taking a gap year to find out who I am. And her parents said, okay, it's your money, it's your $5,000, take the gap year. What do you want to do? She said, I want to go to Nepal and buy a piece of land and start a children's school. And they said, you call that a gap year? That was her gap. What if you took the time to experience the gap between each beat of your heart, the gap between each windmill in your head, the gap between each breath, between each heartbeat, between each word and each thought? She took the time to find the gap. She bought a piece of land. She founded the Copilla Valley School. It was once a small bamboo shack, and it now serves over 1,000 students a day with state-of-the-art facilities, modern technology, and diverse offerings. Students participate in gardening, farming, conservation, and are provided healthy meals to address malnutrition. There's an on-site daycare as well as job readiness program called Futures to launch students toward college, vocational programs, and training. She shares this. We've now raised a generation. Here's the legacy when you tithe. Here's the legacy when you pledge to this center. We're sharing a legacy of beliefs and values and attitudes that set people free. And what better gift could you give to future generations? What better gift could you give to your children? What better gift could you give to your grandchildren and their children than setting them free to be who they were meant to be? What better gift? What better legacy? She did it. She found the gap, and she said, we've now raised a generation of children. They are out in the world as architects, engineers, social workers, teachers, and entrepreneurs. Well, Doyne's last decade has been defined by enormous achievements. Here we go, young, 32, I believe now. She hit a midlife crisis, but she turned it into a midlife chrysalis, and she found the catharsis of healing. During this journey, halfway through on December 30, 2015, Doyne's son, Robbie, died by accidental drowning. At one point, she shares, the traumatic loss made progress in my life seem impossible, and I had to find meaning in his loss. And as I came to find meaning in his loss, I came to rediscover the meaning in my life and my school and my life, and those children moved forward. She said, I didn't know if I would recover. The years following were about putting the pieces back together and really healing as a family. She said, I had to move from the crisis into the chrysalis, into the catharsis of complete healing. And she did. Pope Leo XIV shares this. Jesus says very clearly, at the end of the world, we're going to be asked, how did you receive the foreigner? Did you receive him and welcome him or not? And I think that there's a deep reflection that needs to be made in terms of what's happening right here and right now. So can you find that gap? Can you find the gap between the crisis of your condition, whatever you choose to call it? Can you find the gap between the crisis of your condition, it's financial, psychological, physical, spiritual, creative? Can you find the gap between the crisis of your condition and the chrysalis of your consciousness that will lead you to a complete catharsis of healing? Our talk was Midlife Chrysalis. From the house in the middle of the road, are you more willing to enter the rooms of your soul? I hope you are today, because it's in the rooms of your soul where you're going to find the love in your heart, and it's the love in your heart where you're going to find the way you're supposed to express and be on this life plane. We talked about the butterfly who learned to fly. This week I invite you to find a way to let the butterfly, which I would call your soul, I'd untether it, I'd uncage it, and I'd set it free. What a good time, the holiday time of the year. We talked about the gifts of the Magi. And we talked about the gift of the Don Quixote of our dreams. Doyle had all of these. She entered the house in the middle of the road. She discovered the rooms in her soul. She became the butterfly who learned to fly. She experienced the gifts of the Magi, not of surface meaning, but of deep level, intense spirituality. And she came to find the Don Quixote of her dreams. And she bowed at windmills, and she cheered windmills, and she built the windmills of a school that's educating thousands of children and setting them free, setting their butterfly free. So Chrysalis, Midlife Chrysalis, invites us to move from the crisis of our conditions, whatever you choose them to be, it's always a choice, To the chrysalis of our consciousness, whatever you choose that to be, it's always your choice. To the catharsis of our healing. We are a healing teaching. We began as a healing teaching. We got a little diverted into materialism, and now we're back into the metaphysics of healing. And I invite you this week, when you contemplate, are you in a midlife crisis or are you in a midlife catharsis? Because it's your choice. That's the good news and the bad news. Are you willing to move from midlife crisis to midlife chrysalis, to midlife catharsis of the healing of this time of year? Invite in all of that healing. As you reflect on your own journey this week, consider what meaningful gifts you can offer. The meaningful gifts of wisdom, kindness, and purpose. Let this season, right, in this holiday tree, inspire you to share what truly matters and to embrace the transformation that comes with giving from your soul and from your heart unto the world. Because when you give from your soul and from your heart unto the world will gratefully receive your gift, unwrap your gift, and they will come to see the beauty of the wisdom and the light and the love in their soul. So this week I invite you to be the little butterfly that could and the little boy that could, to enter that house, the mansions of your soul, that place of transformation, and allow your life to be transformed by knowing it's always your choice. It's always your possibility. It's always your ability to be present right here and now. And so today's affirmation, let's see if that's up there. We got it. Today's affirmation. I'll read it first, and I invite you to say it if you choose. And if it doesn't feel right for you, come up with your own affirmation. You know what your affirmation is better than I do. So say it with me. I'll read it. If it feels right, say it with me. And if it doesn't, come up with your own. You know what you want to affirm. My personal transformation begins with my affirmation. If change is to be, the change is up to me. If you're comfortable, if not, say your own. I invite us to say that together. My personal transformation begins with my affirmation. If change is to be, the change is up to me. If no one today has told you that they love you, CSLB loves you, and get this, we love you just the way you are. And if you haven't told yourself today that you love you yet, now would be a good time to start. So ends our talk, and then I will take it into prayer, and then we'll invite Gilman to come up and do a song for us. So I'll take this into prayer, and then we'll follow that with Gilman's song. And so there's this gap. And this gap is in the silence. And so I'm willing to let this prayer be the expansive gap of silence. I'm willing to know that I don't have to fill that silence with anything. And in my willingness to be present in that gap is everything. In the silence in that gap is the everything of a boy and a butterfly. In the silence of that gap is the everything of the magic of the Magi's. In the silence of that gap is the magic of a school in Nepal. And in the magic of that gap, that I don't have to fill with anything, I invite each of us to be present to the everything of the love right here and right now in this room. And may that be the beginning of the many gifts of love this holiday season that you will open when you're willing to stay in that gap of silence. And know that you don't have to fill it with anything, because you are already everything. And together I invite us to say, and so it is. And now we'll have our final song. And yes, you are willing to able to eat pastries. Eat those pastries while we sing out. Good seeing you, Nancy. Good seeing you. Thank you. Good job. And we have the lyrics, I believe, in our sing-along hymnal, so sing along.
Oh, did you want the post-talk song or go right?
Post-talk song.
Okay.
How are you?
So, yeah, the lyrics for this are not in the thing. This is a song about change. It was sung by Michael Jackson. Gonna make a change for once in my life. It's gonna feel real good, gonna make a difference, gonna make it right. As I turn up the collar on my favorite winter coat, this wind is blowing my mind. I see the kids in the street, not enough to eat. Who am I to be blind, pretending not to see their needs? A summer's disregard, a broken bottle top, and a one-man soul. They follow each other on the wind, you know, 'cause they got nowhere to go. That's why I want you to know I'm starting with the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways. No message could have been any clearer. If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and then make that change. Na 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 na. I've been a victim of a selfish kind of love. It's time that I realize there are some with no home, not a nickel alone. Could it be really me, pretending that they're not alone? A widow deeply scarred, somebody's broken heart, and a washed out dream. They follow the pattern of the wind to see, 'cause they got no place to be. That's why I'm starting with me. I'm starting with the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways. No message could have been any clearer. If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and then make a change. You gotta get it right while you got the time. You can't turn your back and then close your mind. I'm starting with the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways. No message could have been any clearer. If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and then make a change. You gotta get it right while you got the time. You can't turn your back and close your mind. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Make that change.
so now it's our time of conscious giving. So if we can go and read that. And so we invite you, if you have a love offering, that's great. And also know that what we really appreciate and we really want you to appreciate is that you are beautiful just the way you are. And if the basket or the ushers can come forth and start collecting, as the plate goes by, if you're an auto tither, you don't have something to put in today, just circle your hand over the plate, and that keeps that conscious energy of love going. So circle your hand, send us your love, and that'll come back to us in many ways. And that's really so honored that you're here today. And so I invite us to read our giving statement as our ushers collect our tithe. I give and receive freely and generously. And you're welcome to read this with me. I give and receive freely and generously with an open heart and an open mind. The universe responds to me in kind. I know that my beloved community is richly blessed, and so it is. Online, you can get GIV to 951-420-6909. You can go to cslbeaumont.org. You can use Zelle. And so a lot of ways you can tithe. You can send us a check by snail mail. We'll take that too. So any way you choose to tithe to the center. And then a final note. The poinsettia tree is a poinsettia celebration of life tree, and we invite you to adopt a poinsettia for the holiday season. They're $20, and they're in honor of a loved one, a memory, a celebration, so whatever you choose to celebrate, they're $20. At the end of our Christmas Eve service, you'll be able to take your poinsettia home, and on the Christmas Eve service, we'll have a special program for all the people who purchased poinsettias, the name of the loved one that you're honoring or the celebration, and we will also have a slide presentation if you send us a photo of the person you're honoring, and we'll have that as part of our Christmas Eve candlelight service. So adopt a poinsettia for the Christmas season. If they're looking for homes, so adopt one, and you get to take it home December 24th. And right now, we will circle up however the best we can, and we'll sing our way out. And Gilman, you're doing our closing song? Okay, Gilman's going to lead us out in our closing song. So stand if you are able.
This is the one that's in the book, yeah. 'Tis a gift to be simple, 'tis a gift to be free, 'tis a gift to come down where we ought to be. When we find ourselves in the place just right, be in the valley of love and delight. When true simplicity is gained, to bow and to bend we shall not be ashamed. To turn and turn will be our delight. By turning, turning, we come round right. One more time here. 'Tis a gift to be simple, 'tis a gift to be free, 'tis a gift to come down where we ought to be. When we find ourselves in a place just right, we'll be in the valley of love and delight. When true simplicity is gained, to bow and to bend we shall not be ashamed. To turn and turn will be our delight, till by turning, turning we come round right. To turn and turn will be our delight, till by turning, turning we come round right.
So we will end this today at CSL Beaumont where we began, knowing that we are exactly where we are supposed to be, and this the exact valley and the exact time and the exact right place at CSL Beaumont where we are supposed to be today. And so I invite you as we end this service to follow me into the Om Room if you would like prayer. We'll be doing prayer in there. And if not, we have full lunch in Carter Hall. So join us for full lunch in Carter Hall. And certainly on the way out, buy some of those Christmas goodies at the boutique. So don't leave here without taking something home. All right, and we will see you next week. So lunch and prayer in the Om Room.